Hello, my name's Adam Cook and welcome to the God is a Geek podcast. Well, I'm here with Adam Carroll. Hello, Adam.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm great. It's the Adams Show, the Adams family, whatever you want to say, because it's the post-E3 Comedown this week. It's that time of year where you've seen a barrage of brand new video games, and you're like, what do I play? Oh, none of these are Cyberpunk 2077, so I don't want to. So you sort of go back and play old stuff. So we're going to be talking about some old stuff we've been playing recently, but I do want to also ask Adam, because he wasn't here for the sort of E3 show conferences stuff. I just wanted to ask you if you can, I'll put you on the spot, I never said I was going to do this, but did you have a top 5 games of E3 that you could pull relatively easily? Or even just things that I mean, I know, listen, let's just forget Resident Evil 2, because I know your taste in games, and I know you'll literally be dying to play that as well. Yeah. But like, anything stood out to you that, you know?
Well, Cyberpunk is obviously I just like, I think everyone's going to say that the Last of Us 2.
It's a first-person game, though, you know.
What's that?
It's a first-person game, Cyberpunk. That's surprised a few.
And CG Projekt Red seem to be getting some backlash for it.
Really? But like, there's a very simple reason it's first-person, don't you think?
Well, what would your reason be?
Well, it's got guns and stuff in it, and it's going to be like inside buildings a lot, and I don't think it's going to be out in these huge fields that you can swing swords in, like The Witcher, you know? Also, good luck to them. Like, they're doing something different.
Absolutely.
Guerrilla Games did that, and we got Horizon Zero Dawn.
Look, the first-person thing doesn't bother me. I wonder how much content will be in a first-person for CG Projekt Red, because there's so much in The Witcher. And I'm just curious, like, how much content will they put in? But look, there's so much to find out about that game. What?
Actually, I don't know why this has just cropped into my head. I was just sort of thinking about games of E3, and I was actually just thinking, what's Adam going to name? What ones is he going to list? And then for some reason, this game popped into my head because it wasn't announced. We never got a Mortal Kombat announcement. I was absolutely expecting that this year.
Look, I wasn't on for the E3 episode, and I think there was a lot of things that people expected to be announced.
Animal Crossing.
Like that just... Look, okay, I need to express myself.
Dude, no, that's what this podcast is for.
Because I personally was... Like, I just thought this E3 was just fucking weird. I thought it was...
Yeah, very weird.
It was really bizarre, and I think a lot of people think the same. Nintendo's one, especially for me, was strange, because I just found it. I thought, as it was building up to Nintendo, I was like, you know what, it'll be okay. Look, I know people are having a bit of like probably panics because of all the leaks that happened before E3. They maybe felt like, we've nothing really to show. Do we go out all guns blazing? Like, we've some show for you. Are they going to, like? I feel a lot of people came out going, welcome to our conference. We have this, we have that. Let's do it. Because you already know. But I always thought Nintendo were going to be that kind of like the spice. I thought they were going to just drop Animal Crossing and stuff. I thought we were going to get maybe a couple of like Virtual Console announcements. Like I was really hoping for Skyward Sword HD to be announced.
I genuinely thought this year was going to be the year they said Mario Galaxy on Switch, and it's out now. I really did.
Like something like that, because if you think about it, for what the Switch actually is, if I could be wrong in saying this, but I remember the Wii U getting like so much like that, like early days, and I was kind of like, like we had Mario Galaxy come into place. How are we not getting that on the Switch? But as you said, Animal Crossing, that was a real gut punch, because I'm not like a gigantic Animal Crossing fan, but man, did I play a lot of the last one. And I
think everyone did.
Yeah, and I was totally up for it on the Switch. But to go into Smash Brothers, which is hilarious, because you actually put out a tweet I remember reading saying something along the lines of, I hope people aren't like expecting much.
Expecting too much, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a heavy Smash conference.
Yeah. I will say, I didn't mean that heavy. Like, a small aside, I was putting together a video in some freelance work I did for someone else, and I had to use parts of that Nintendo Direct, which meant I actually saw I think it was 44 minutes, the actual Direct was, 18 minutes of that weren't Direct. Weren't Smash Brothers. 18 whole minutes. The rest of it was Smash Brothers. I didn't realise at the time, but my word. Yeah, like even like friend of the site, who used to do work with us, Lee Garber. I saw he posted a blog on his website, puckhoofgaming.com, today at the time of recording this, because we're doing this. This is a very early pre-record, and he was like, it's rare that I would see him sound angry.
I
don't think I ever heard him angry, but he genuinely, his words sounded angry, that it's like, hey, I know that lots of people like Smash Brothers, but like I was kind of hoping that this year would be the same as last year and I'd have all these great games that I wanted to get my teeth into. And because we jokingly had a back and forth on Twitter about this. He said, like, what the hell are we supposed to play if we don't like Smash? And I just went, Fortnite. And he goes, yeah, but I'll play Fortnite if I wanted to, which I don't, on my Xbox. And I was like, well, but now you can play it on Switch. It's like, yeah. It was like people weren't happy. But I think people have to try to get it in their heads that Nintendo Direct at E3 is not a Nintendo press conference. It's basically just a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, and I know, but they do offer some special moments, man. Nintendo know that they can do. I'm sorry, but like I threw on the Nintendo conference while I was in work. Okay, like
okay, well, I get you.
I was like, because the time difference was there. It was like 9 a.m. I think it started over here.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
I was in work. I had my phone balancing on a load of fucking plates and stuff, and I was like in there watching it. As soon as Smash started, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't need to see this because I've played the fucking game on the Wii U. I don't need to see this.
And it is a new one. They've said, by the way, it isn't like that one rehashed. It is a from the ground up brand new game, that just for what that's worth, which is, I guess, if you don't like Smash, still not worth anything, but just to say that is the case.
Yeah, but I couldn't believe it as I was going back and forth that I was like, oh my God, they're still on about Smash.
Do you know? So was it the length of the Smash that shocked? Because that wasn't what shocked me. Because I think sometimes when you don't know how long the press briefers are going to be, like we knew that Microsoft was going to be whatever it was. We know Ubisoft how long theirs usually is. But with Nintendo, I thought it was going to be half an hour. Once it had pushed over that, I figured, it's going to be a full hour then. Because I'd also heard that Fortnite would be dropping on the hour, which I kind of figured, right, when it ends. But when... the thing that actually got me is that when they finished the Smash thing, it was just like, credit screen, gone. And I was like, oh... Oh shit! Right, because I figured I had 15 more minutes where we were going to get Animal Crossing. Do you know what I mean?
There was a couple of moments like that though, from across the board, man, with all conferences where it just like ended, and I was like,
and that's it.
Is that it? It's like, do I continue on now to see what else is happening? Like, I'm just gonna.
Is it going to fade back up in a minute?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and to move on a bit. To move on about like Sony's conference, Sony did that similar thing where like I know you discussed it last week's pod, but like for me, I was sitting there kind of going, what is wrong? What is going on with everyone's situation here? Like, why are we going back to these people chatting and they're setting up a stage? Like, this is so weird. It's like they just arrived like an hour ago or something, like, and they're like, fuck, we missed the train, we're here now though, let's set up. Do you know, it's really bizarre. But I'm not trying to be negative on it, but man, I was a lot more disappointed this year than I ever have been.
Okay, I feel like I'm more up this year, but again, as I said on last week's episode, I think that's because it kind of all kicked off with Microsoft. I know EA were before, but it kind of it really kicks off once the big first party people start, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And I feel like with Microsoft, because I think I was texting you at the time, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I think it was you. I said, so I remember saying this last week, and I think it was you I was texting saying, like, they've made a show just for me. Like, those first 4 games or whatever, it's like, oh my God. And I think that set me up so well for the rest of the show. It's like, you can kind of do what you want now, because I've got a new FromSoft game that looks amazing. Mm-hmm. I've got Ori and the Ori and the Will-O-Wisps. I've seen a bit of it, enough to just wet my whistle a bit, and I know when it's coming now. There was kind of enough that did that for me, but I totally appreciate why other people would be like, because I mean, Sony, I guess if you think of it as Sony and Nintendo, I think I can understand why people would be like, wow, that was a bit, but then, because with the Sony thing, I still feel like I wasn't sure if when they said, hey, we're going to show these 4 games, if they were trying to sell you, you know what I mean, make you think that and then go, and then to be fair, they did what they said they were going to do. And I think with Nintendo, I think people got excited, which is why I tweeted that, because I felt like people got excited based on history rather than Nintendo right now. Like, if you got to think, doing that Pokemon Direct that was out of the blue and showing that, and everyone who likes Pokemon's all hyped, I feel like people were in the mindset of, oh, but if they're showing that now, wow, what have they got still to show? Whereas what they actually had, in Nintendo's mind, they've done amazingly. Smash is coming, and I don't know.
I do. There was no. We didn't need that. We did.
But
not
Mario
need...
Party's online, Adam. Mario Party's online, by the way.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, okay. I like Mario Party.
And I'll definitely like play it, but I'm just saying, it was odd, and I have to be honest that like going into this whole E3 this year, like no way did I think I was going to turn around and say that Microsoft blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Not to say that they can't. I'm just saying that like. This conference, if anything came out of it, that E3, Microsoft have made me go. It's like they went, we need to do this conference because we need Adam Carroll to buy an Xbox.
Yep.
That is straight up what it felt like.
Have you bought one yet, out of interest?
I'll be buying it hopefully next week.
There you go.
Like, Microsoft was amazing, and it's so funny because I've had a couple of stories on the podcast already about like explaining my gaming things to my girlfriend who has absolutely no interest in games whatsoever, and she was sitting next to me for the very beginning of Microsoft, and I was just like sitting there, and when I'm watching E3 I'm very like, everyone needs to shut the fuck up here. And
I totally get you. Like I'm the same with the World Cup that's going on, where I got told off today, like, you didn't even help us bring the shopping in. I was like, but the football is on, the World Cup is on. And by the way, I'm the prick, I know that. Like
like my girlfriend bought me Super Mario socks for the weekend. Like, she was just like, here you go, enjoy. And I was like, all right, sweet. But like sitting down, telling her, I was like, Halo's been announced. Holy shit, like, new Halo opening the show. I was like, in fairness, that is massive. I'm not a Halo fan, but that is massive. And then when I saw Ori, I was like, I kind of like just slightly hit her into the arm, and I went, Adam Cook is going to be losing his mind. I need to text him right now.
Well, I was, but I was also like, I don't want to see this. Just say it's out this year. I don't want to see it. I don't want it.
Yeah,
I want it so bad. Rather, just I don't know. So,
look,
so what? Back to the question. What games then from? Because I know I've said we weren't going to do too much E3, but it's just the two of us.
It's just the
trust
two of
me,
us.
the games we're going to talk about are old games. So, what are your? Let's go for the 5, because everyone else we gave. It doesn't have to be a top 5, but your 5.
Okay.
And if Rezi's in there, fine. Rezi's in there. But
Rezi's
what
in
are
there.
your 5?
Rezi is in there.
I knew
okay.
it was. Yeah. Is it number 1? Out of interest, if you were to rank them.
It's actually not.
Oh.
Because if I'm going
I know what your number 1 is.
What? Go ahead.
Dying Light 2.
No.
Ooh, okay.
I'll give you another guess. I did say it to you in a message that was the one that blew my mind. And I think it blew a lot of people's minds. I think a lot of people are in the cyberpunk thing. They're all like, that's game of show. But really and truly, the one game that was shown that I personally feel everyone deep down was like, holy fuck, that looks amazing.
Okay, I'm not going to get my phone out. I'm not going to cheat. Give me a clue as like to say which publisher, but I think that might be too big of a clue.
Yeah, that'd be too much. They have another a pretty big franchise. I know that we both liked it a lot. It was one of the earlier PS4 releases.
The Last of Us?
Nope.
Am I on the right track?
Not really.
Oh shit. Okay.
Think about one.
Wasn't Beyond Good and Evil? Am I
No.
on the right track now?
No, you're not.
Actually, I'm further away now. Okay.
Another thing I can say to you is there was 2 other games of a similar style to this game.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima. No, you said I wasn't the right
There you
style.
go. That's it.
I did get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. I will say, right, because Sony is. I didn't stay up for. Obviously, you're in Canada. I don't know if it was time friendly for you or not, but I didn't.
No, it was cool.
Obviously, it's like 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch the conference. I watched the stuff they put out. I watched like the 10-minute videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, apart from Death Stranding, every one of them I was sat there and it's like, and it ended. I was like, oh wow, that went quick. Like it was. Like Spider-Man was impressive, Tsushima was impressive, and Last of Us was again, I mentioned it on the pod. I have problems with how that was framed because that's definitely not the way it's going to play in the game. But Tsushima looked, apart from the ending where it's like they're friends. Now we're fighting. Oh shit! Now we're friends again. We got to, I will say, and they've also since announced, by the way, we didn't know last week. They've announced that there will be Japanese voice acting in the game if you want to have it that way, which is great.
Man, honestly,
that's your number one.
I do think so. Like when that game was, as that demo was being played, man, I really thought it was like another step up for games. Like the lighting was exceptional, and
I like the cinematic framing of the fight with the leaves blowing through. I did like that a lot.
Like I will be utterly devastated if this game doesn't deliver. Because it blew my mind. It like the sound, the music, the visuals,
I keep mixing up who's doing that one because I keep Sucker Punch and Insomniac make similar games. One of them's doing Spider-Man, that's Insomniac. Sucker Punch is doing this, something. And and Sucker Punch are the ones. What if Sucker Punch? Sucker Punch. I like that developer, and I'm going to have to Google it because they are infamous, aren't they? And that's right because there's a bit in the demo where he climbs up onto a little building, and I thought, that really looks like Infamous. I
don't know. I just had this. I just wanted it straight away. I was like, that is totally the vibe of game I'm up for right now. It blew my mind. Resi is obviously there.
We've got Resi, Dying Light.
Dying Light is there.
Tsushima, 2 more then.
Okay, Death Stranding, alright? It's not there, but it's not in my top 5 because I have no fucking idea what's going on, okay?
No one does. I'm not convinced fucking Kojima does. I genuinely still think that game's quite early.
Everything I'm even seeing in the game, I'm not really sure I'm excited. And that is a weird thing to say, because when you're looking at it, I'm like, yeah, cool. So when is this coming out in cinema? Like, that is just
yeah, fair.
That is just all I'm thinking of. And it's kind of getting very fucking annoying to not know just what way this game plays. That is what's annoying. Now, I have to say, there was elements that it did very much look like the Phantom Pain, like the movement and stuff where he was running around, looked very like the Phantom Pain, like out in the open world and shit. And look, we'll see how it goes, but I did read recently that Kojima is apparently like making this game like it's his last game, like, because I think he said something, this isn't a quote, but something along the lines like he could die tomorrow, so he's making this like as if it's his last game.
Right.
But I don't know what the fuck that means.
Right.
I don't know.
He doesn't. So hang on. So if Death Stranding isn't, thank God Death Stranding isn't on your list, because we'd have had a long podcast chat about that.
Yeah, see, it's not it's not on my list because, and that's a worrying factor, man. Because
no, but I don't know, because like no one knows what it is still. If they'd come out and made it clear what that game was, then maybe I could get behind people going, oh well, I'm a big Kojima fan and this looks like this. I would be quite surprised if anyone was like, oh, game of show. Not because I listen. Sometimes on the podcast I've talked about this before. We play parts. Gary's the good game hater, I'm the Kojima disser, or whatever. But I'm sure that he will make. I don't think Sony would allow him to make a piece of shit. But I think there's a deliberate case of him obfuscating what this game is.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they. Not that I don't think they know. They must know. That's not the way development works. But I do think the game is well over 18 months off. And at that point, I think this game will be a game that straddles generations. Do you remember how, I think I said this on last week's, how there's, at the beginning of this gen, there was games like Shadow of War. No, what was the last? Not the new Shadow of Mordor game. It was Shadow of Mordor, wasn't it?
Shadow of War.
The first one. No, the first one.
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, that game was on 360 and Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
There were loads of games like that. And I think Death Stranding will be that. It will be on PS4 and PS5. I really do. I think Cyberpunk will. I think there's a lot of games because the Sony one especially was a very much lack of release dates.
Yeah, it was. The next one is probably an obvious for like pretty much everyone with The Last of Us was.
Yeah.
The Last of Us know, right? Okay. Look, I want to say this on here. The people who are having the problem with, like, Ellie's relationship, what the fuck is wrong with the world? Like,
I think I can't even remember. It's one of those things where we've discussed so much E3 now. I can't remember if we talked about that last week on the pod or not. I thought Nicola and I discussed it, but I can't remember.
There's definitely going to be elements where it's repeated, but I wasn't on last week, so I just kind of have to
that's fair.
pre-vocal myself.
You can have your say. Yep.
Really and truly, like, it doesn't make, like, if people are saying, oh, there's not much of a change in the game, there's this situation with Ellie. What's the problem? Like, what is the problem?
There isn't one.
To go off at first, right? The people who say there's nothing different in terms of its gameplay, and the problem is, like,
well, it looks like a sequel. Like it looks like every other sequel. The way I'm trying to think of a really good example, and for some reason I can't. But it's like any game that's, it's like South Park, for example. South Park, the two PS4 game. Well, this current console generation games, they were very similar because that's the kind of game they are. But they changed little things to make them slightly new. That's what. But I don't know. Did people think that Last of Us 2 was going to be a strategy game or something?
This is it, right? And I actually think there was, like, a couple of, like, amazing kind of moments in its, like, direction and stuff like that. Like, there's one amazing moment she slips through a gap and, like, kills this dude.
Yeah.
And it's like,
expecting that.
I don't really remember those moments in the first one. However, like, people need to realise that The Last of Us, you don't play The Last of Us for its gameplay. Like, the gameplay is more than enough. It works perfectly fine. There's an element of stealth. It's a bit of fun, but this game is not supposed to be fun. This game is not supposed to be fucking pleasant.
Some of the animation work on that demo, whether it makes it into the game or not, like when she goes under the car and you can, like, some of the animation work that went into Ellie's character was like fucking incredible. Like, it was. I've not seen that attention to detail in sort of in-game stuff. When she goes into the car and she comes out and shoots, that's not normally something you can control in the game.
And, like, the thing about it is, it's really exciting because we got The Last of Us on PS3 first.
Yeah.
Like, then we get the remaster on PS4, which is very, very good. But this is going to be like the creme de la creme. This is going to be like, holy shit. And the situation is, this game is going to be depressing. It's going to be grim. It's going to be very sad. Like, it's about the story. It's about the story of Ellie. Like, it's about the story of Joel, wherever the fuck he is, I don't know. But, like, these are the situations that we want The Last of Us for. Not like, that's why Uncharted exists. That's why they make Uncharted, because that's over the top action. That's hilarious. That's, like, fun. Do you know what I mean? To play. That's why that's there. But The Last of Us was up there for me, man. I think, like, I have to say, I did see the Ellie relationship happening. I don't know why. I just, as soon as it started, when she's, like, I think she's in a bar or something, it felt like a remastered version, a very good remastered version of, like, Life is Strange or something that was going on. But I'm all for it, man. Like, I've said that since day one. I think everyone is when it comes to it. When that game is released, we're all going to be like, Last of Us is here.
And your fifth one?
My fifth one, and I want to say Cyberpunk, but I have to see more of it first. I have to see more of it. I'm going to say Anthem.
Okay.
Because I've seen enough gameplay of it, and I want BioWare to come back and deliver something amazing. Because, man, I hold Mass Effect 2 so close to me. Like Mass Effect 2 was a huge deal, and how much time I put into it is insane. And I think where Mass Effect is gone, it's now forever gone. Like, that's it.
Yeah, it's gone for a long time now.
It's fucked. It's fucked. That's it. It's done.
Yeah,
and I really love the effort that like BioWare can put into it. Because I was actually a big fan of Dragon Age Inquisition as well, if I'm honest. Like, it hasn't held up well or anything, but I just think BioWare deserve that absolute holy shit. This game is insane. And I know people can say, yeah, they had that with Mass Effect 2, but people are doubting Anthem. They're making the Destiny comparisons. They're doing all this. That gameplay looks fun. I'm sorry, but flying around the place looks fun. And I'm really excited. And visually, it looks very impressive. I just hope that the gameplay is smooth, and I hope that it isn't like, I hope it doesn't feel light. I hope the character doesn't feel floaty.
No, apparently it doesn't.
Cool. Like I kind of want it to feel like how Gears feels. Like when you're firing bullets in Gears of War, you're just feeling every single bullet.
Right.
So that would probably be in there, but I'm like, just to say, I cannot wait for Cyberpunk. I just can't wait to see more.
I think that's the feeling in the industry is certainly that. But I mean, we'll move away from E3 then. But one thing, I mean, it kind of happened in E3. The game you finally tried, Fortnite hit Switch, and so you tried Fortnite on Switch. Now, did you have any issues with it being linked to your PS4 account, or did you just?
Absolutely not. But what's weird about this is I've played Fortnite on my PS4 for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
I literally set it up, and I vividly remember kind of going, cool, here we go. I started the game. I built something really quickly, knocked down a tree or something, and then I got called, and I went away and I never went back to it. So I never really considered my experience with Fortnite a thing until now. But I had no trouble logging in. That whole situation is incredibly strange. And
it's also not new. The one thing I find even stranger is how all of a sudden people are acting like it's a new thing.
Okay.
This is the problem. The problem is that basically the way cross-play works is your Epic account is connecting to their servers, and that's how you can. So, literally 2 nights ago, I was sat here where I'm sat right now, playing Fortnite on my PC, while my son played Fortnite on my Xbox. I say our Xbox; it may as well be his now. Plays it that much, but literally on the TV next to my desk, and we were playing cross-play, right? But because it uses, rather than when you're on your Xbox, you're inviting your Xbox friends, but when you're playing cross-play, you're inviting your Epic account friends, and essentially, Sony don't want this happening, so Epic have to shut off. Put the PS4 users in their pen over here, where everyone else is in their much bigger pen. And that's the way it works, because there was actually a situation a few months ago where they accidentally enabled crossplay on PS4 for a few hours or whatever, and then they went, oh shit, that's not supposed to happen. So everyone knows it can happen. It's not a case of it not being allowed to happen. Sorry, no, it is a case of it not being allowed to happen. But this is not new. It is not a new thing for, PS4 users, you can't, this same thing happened because your account is your account. Like my account when I play on Xbox, PC, Switch, or iOS, iPad, and iPhone, it's the same account, the same skins, even the same loading screen. Because one of the things you can do is you can unlock your own loading screen. Sort of, there's variables, and even that is the same when you're logged into your account. But I don't get why it's blown up.
But does everybody truly know though? Do they really know? Because I'm after seeing a couple of high profile people out there saying literally going on the Fortnite Twitter page and saying, can you fix this, and screenshotting the login failed screen that's going around constantly. I don't really know how well it is actually known. I didn't.
Well, that's the thing. I think the Switch being so huge has made this come to light. But then maybe no, I don't want to say it. I was going to say maybe if you're looking for Fortnite news, get your Fortnite news from websites that actually play Fortnite. I'm not dissing anyone as such. I'm just saying this isn't a new thing. I've seen this covered. This has been on Reddit. This has been on in Epic's forums, and it's been on Twitter for I think nearly a year. Where the people have been complaining about we need to fix the way accounts are associated, because people it's gone a bit hysterical because people are going, I've lost all my purchases because they're locked to PS4. You haven't. They're still there. You just can't use them on a different platform, which sucks balls. Because if and because I was into Fortnite and because my kids were into Fortnite, I clocked this early on. I was like, right, the old account that I have, because I was on PS4 first as well, but that old account where I hadn't done anything. It's I've nothing to lose. That's going to stay on PS4 now. I'll start a new one, everything else. And that's when the season pass stuff, the battle pass stuff started. So I didn't really lose anything. But I don't know. It's a shitty situation. And I kind of feel like Sony as market leader should be kind of leading. They're acting like they're afraid instead of leading at the moment. And that's not good.
Yeah.
Did you see Destiny? I think it was Mike Ibarra was asking people, hey, would you be interested in Destiny 2 being cross-play, with PC and Xbox and that?
No.
Did you see that?
No.
No, I'm trying to find the exact... Oh, damn it. Yeah, he's corporate VP of Xbox. Where the hell is the tweet? It's really frustrating. Tell us what you think of Fortnite, and I'll jump in if I can find it.
Well, what I was about to say there is that, like, we may have all these problems, but at the same time, like...
Sorry, that was quick.
Go on.
I've already found it. Mikey Barra, Xbox Quick, that's QWIK, 22 hours ago at time of recording. That is, I can't find the date, but it's today, which is the 15th of June. I'd love crossplay with Destiny on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Would you? Twitter poll. I'm going to vote on it right now, and I'm going to click vote yes, because I think it would be a great thing. 32,087 people have voted with 1 hour to go. I voted yes. Wow. 87% of those 32,000 have said we would like crossplay.
Of course, because who wouldn't want that?
Well, absolutely. Well,
who doesn't want those things? What was I going to say though? Like,
what do you think of Fortnite?
So straight off, let's discuss the fact that it's been downloaded 2 million times in less than 24 hours.
Doesn't surprise me. It's a very popular game. And the amount of people that, like, I know that have switched from Xbox to Switch, which is mad because it's an inferior version, but whatever.
Well, the thing was, man, so you're obviously able to tell that along with, like, many, many other people, but this is my real Fortnite experience.
Still fine.
I personally felt when I was booting it up, okay, I was really, really happy by how smooth it just kind of, for me anyway, I know for a lot of people, for how smooth it just went into the game. Like, loaded up, I set up my account and whatever, and there we have it. I'm in it with a group of random people, off you go. And I was sitting there with my Switch going, the first thought that came into my head was, fucking hell, there must be so many people literally frothing at the mouth right now, the fact that they can get Fortnite on the Switch. Do you know, like, playing this all around the place, like, it's quite amazing. Do you know that it's got there, and it was like, I'm so happy that they still went free, because I honestly thought they would have charged for this, like, even if it was like a $5 or something, because I know, like, it's free everywhere else, but I don't know, there was just something with the Nintendo announcement that I was like, are they going to charge people for this? But I played a couple of games and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I have to say, my participation, I don't feel I did much, because I was like just running to, like, with these people, and like I was building some stuff, and then, like, I was like looting shit, and like killed like 2 or 3 people. But see, I've never played this kind of game before. I've never played like the PUBG. I've never played the Battle Royale game. So people need to realize that this is my first ever one. So I know the general concept, but it's my first time playing it, and I had a lot of fun. I think it's fun, but there is a thing in my head that I can't help, like, I can't stop thinking about the fact that, like, there's going to be absolutely sensational players on this, like,
oh yes, and
for me personally, that kind of throws me off, because I don't want to be a person that is just a guy who's just running. Do you know, like, it's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Because I've been in that situation. I think everybody has been in that situation with a game that they love. I had that a lot of the time when I played, like, something like Diablo or even World of Warcraft back in the day. I used to be like, this fucker. I was like, what is he up to? But I enjoyed it, man. I think I'll definitely play a couple of more rounds. I would rather play it with, like, the likes of yourself at some point. I think there's fun to be had, but it's a cool concept, and like, how
hot news there. Hot news. Adam says Fortnite's quite good, by the way.
Yeah, I know. In case you didn't know.
No.
But I'm just wondering, how, like, you say your kids, like, are fans of Fortnite. Are they still, like? Is it still as, like, Fortnite is everything?
Oh yeah,
like,
mate. I literally kicked my youngest out of this office so I could record a podcast because he was playing Fortnite. Yeah,
like,
and I played Fortnite with my eldest last night.
It is hard to, like, keep up with, like, a game like this in terms of popularity, do you know? But, like, I know
it's not going away. I'm telling you now, it's not going away for a while. It's really not, because the speed of iteration from Epic is, you know, think about when they had the Infinity War thing. Like, it's not going away. They're changing stuff too quickly. They're real clever about it. They've seen PUBG is changing things slowly, but now PUBG's had to respond and go, actually, they're doing it. We need to do this. We need to change things quickly, because Fortnite is keeping you interested. The Battle Pass is a great idea, gives you a new thing to aim for every season, and they're changing stuff. They bring modes back, they take them out. They're keeping that game fresh non-stop. Like they change the meta, if you will, every few weeks at this point.
Mm-hmm. One thing I want to ask you though is, for somebody who you've played on the Xbox, or have you played
on Xbox, Switch, PS4, PC, and iOS, everything. I've just realised I've played it on everything.
Okay, can you see the Switch being the go-to version in terms of like how easy it is to, like, I know people can take their phones and stuff, but look, nobody's going to, like, the phone is going to be the last choice, I feel, to play Fortnite. But in some cases I'd say the Switch then comes next, but like I just think that like this can go very far, Nintendo Switch. And do you think that it'll become a thing that like they get first dibs on like a lot of the stuff down the line?
No, it's they don't do that. I'm not sure about iOS, but everything else, it's like we're changing it and it's today, and they're pretty quick. They don't usually give a big long lead up. They just do it, and it's like, oh, today we're dropping a new weapon.
But dude, obviously, like the resolution is downgraded, okay, on the Switch.
It is, yeah.
But it plays perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like, do you think it plays very like identical, or if not similar?
Near enough. I mean,
like, what's the big changes in terms of like...
No, it's the same game. I mean, it's literally, you know, like I say, I as much as I was playing PC and Xbox the other day, I was sat on the sofa the other day, so I got the Switch and my son was upstairs playing on his Xbox and I joined him on Switch. Like, it's the same game. It's just like, I think it's probably 720p maybe instead of 1080, and there's no anti-aliasing, but in terms of the game, it's exactly the same, identical.
But like,
there's no difference, and it will get the changes at the same time now.
But if you're a Switch owner and a massive Fortnite fan, and you walk around with your Switch all the time, do you like having the choice of putting that game, that console out on in a cafe or something, connecting to the Wi-Fi, taking out the Pro controller? Like, I don't know. Like, I just think like there's such a bright future for this game if it stays as popular on the Switch.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah,
but I think obviously like the crossplay thing is going to have, like, that needs.
I mean,
to,
if they're smart, they put like Mario costumes in the game, because like they've done that with the World Cup at the moment. Like, you've got like the Nigeria kit, which is popular. I think there's loads of kits, but I saw
that's surely going to happen. Going around.
Yeah, I would imagine that Switch will. Well, the thing is, they haven't done anything I can think of that's like, oh, you know, like how Monster Hunter is like, oh, you get the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff. They haven't done anything like that. It has been like, oh, there's the football kits on all platforms.
Yeah.
If I were Nintendo, I would definitely say, hey, how do you fancy... Do you know what? If I was Nintendo, not only would I ask them, do you want to put a Mario costume in? I'd say you can put it in all versions of the game too. Why not? Does nothing. It does nothing but improve. But then I suppose if you tried to make them do it exclusive, then that brings more people to Switch. But I feel like the Switch is going to be the additional version. I think if you play on Xbox, the Switch will be the extra one. I mean... It doesn't really. I don't suppose it matters. The game's popular. It ain't going away. Switch version's fine. It's not. It is the worst version. Because even the iOS version is better looking, but it's still fine. Yeah. The iOS version is 60 frames, 1080p. It's beautiful. But like, it's amazing looking.
But this is the thing. Like,
but of course, I should say it hasn't got controls. It hasn't got a controller. So
exactly. Like that's just, to me, is just incredibly frustrating. I hate that kind of.
They need to enable that. I've got a game voice that you can plug your phone into, and it turns it into like a Switch, basically. They need to enable that. That is an epic thing. Game Voice have actually said on their blog that we would love them to do this, but because of the way the controls are used in this game, it has to be Epic that enable it, and they haven't, for whatever reason. I don't know why. I wonder if it's because the Switch version was coming, and they're like, well, we don't want to give them a Switch version on phone. That's what it would have been. Yeah.
But is the resolution for a game like Fortnite very important?
Only if you've played it elsewhere, and you can literally, only if you've played it on Xbox One X or PC and you've seen it at its best, and you're like, it looks fine. Again, it looks fine, but it's the anti-aliasing that they've removed, which I would imagine is how they get it to run smooth. That's the worst, because that gives you the jaggies and the kind of blurriness, and it's fine. I've played it. I'm not a snob like that, so I'm fine playing it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and like, if there's any of our listeners actually playing it, like, send me your name on like Twitter or something, and I'll add it, because I'd love to play with more people and just get more into it, because I do have to say, when I started my first ever game, there was some player building something, and I'm not going to lie to you, like, it was kind of terrifying how good this person was, and I didn't even really understand the ropes of the game yet, but some people are. These kind of games make me realize how scary some video gamers are.
Well, I noticed I know it's on our list. You got Dying Light down here. Why is Dying Light on this list then?
So I went back to Dying Light because of the announcement of 2. So I went back just to run around. I'm not spending long on this. However, there's a sale at the moment. I think it's the Days of Play sale on PSN. Okay. I don't know how much it is on Xbox, but I think Dying Light is going for something like 15 quid or something. I sat in this game until last year, and I think a couple of people are still, they have it in their backlog and it's there, and eventually they might get to it. I'm just saying right now, and I wanted to use the podcast to say that Dying Light is an absolutely exceptional game, and I think it's incredibly good fun. It's so much fucking fun, and it's really fast, and it's like, it's the right game to play, I feel, because at the certain time that I was in my life when I got the game, I was kind of a bit just bored. I was unsure. I was just like, do you know, life, these kind of situations. And I remember just putting on Dying Light and then just like getting lost in the world, the looting, and just having fun with it. And I think a lot of people are kind of, they're not ignoring the game. It's just, they're kind of, oh yeah, I heard it's supposed to be good. I think some people know it's good, but it's 15 quid at the moment, and I just want everyone to like go on and get that game.
I don't think I ever finished it, right? And I've got a good reason for it. I remember previewing it on PC, an unfinished build. I remember then getting code for it on PC and Xbox and starting it on both. And then I remember when the following came out, I think we got PS4 codes, so I started it again. So I think I got through lots of enough. You know, I liked it enough that I played that many hours of every version of it. Mm-hmm. But like, it's a bit like it's a bit like going through a Dark Souls game or something. Like I would love someone to just co-op. Like let's just play through. Just get me through this game so I can say I've finished it, because I do love it.
Like that's the thing as well. Like the co-op is sensational. Like it is unbelievably good fun.
Well, like Nicola said, never stops being fun. Drop kicking fools, is it?
It never does, and it's so fucking funny. Like, I've done it with a couple of my friends back home. Like, we've played Dying Light together, and there's something so hilarious about you struggling. A zombie has you. Like, I've had this situation where I'm getting attacked. I'm like, fuck. I'm on the headset going, someone needs to help me. And then when you have your friend running and just drop kicking a zombie right in front of you, it's laugh out loud funny. But the game is very addictive, and it runs so well, and like, it's intense. Like, in terms of zombie games, I know people are like absolutely like ruined from zombie games at this stage, and I think like even with Days Gone coming out, I think Days Gone has made people kind of go, oh, that looks like a very interesting zombie game again. I think Dying Light just doesn't get like enough. It doesn't get enough praise in terms of how intense it can be when it turns to nighttime in that game. Holy shit! You are running as fast as you can on every rooftop, and that's like the parkour and stuff in it. It's when you get the hang of it, it is so much fun. Like, this game is just oozing fun, and the DLC, the following, is also just incredible.
You get the car.
You get a fucking. That's great. You get a car. You get a fucking car. Like for anyone who hasn't played the game, to think, okay, you get a car, what about it? Like, you don't realise that how to know that you're getting a car in Dying Light. It's like, yes, this
turns into Dead Rising. Moen falls down in the car.
And that's why, like, the announcement of 2 just got me so excited to like go back and give this a go. And as I said, 15 quid, just get it. But
it's just thinking about it is making me want to play it, but I'm not going to, because I've started playing Assassin's Creed Origins again.
Oh, okay.
Now, do you remember when I said I didn't get very far into it?
Mm-hmm.
I underestimated quite how not far I got into it. I thought I'd seen a bit of it, like I'd done some story stuff, I did some side missions. So I got out of Siwa, and then I got the late title card. And I was like, oh, I literally didn't even see the credit opening sequence of this game. So I was honest at the time, and I said that I felt like it was Horizon that ruined this game for me, because I think going from Horizon to this, I said this last week, or where did I say it? I can't remember where I said it, but it made Assassin's Creed feel incredibly stiff. Mm-hmm. And like there wasn't the flexibility of movement that Horizon's got. You know, Horizon feels very much like you're in direct control. You can jump, whatever. Whereas Assassin's Creed feels like Assassin's Creed. You know, I started playing it again. I was like, "Where's the run button?" And I realized there isn't one. You just hold the button down to parkour, but you're already running. was a bit disappointed to see the bit where you come out of the Animus, and I was like, this is really too early to be doing this. But it was short and sweet, and it was fine. I don't care about any of that. I just wanted to get back in. I'm digging it. Like I finally clicked with it, and I want to play through this now. I want to engorge in it a little bit. You know what I mean? I want to gorge and not engorge. I really am enjoying it. I've been trying to play it for the last couple of days, but I've been busy with other things. I really like it.
I think it's a great game. I think they've done some really cool new things. But man, one thing that they still haven't perfected is stealth.
And it's quite a buggy game to me.
It's
like
painful.
I've had like super long loads that I thought the game had hung. You know, you've got a lot of on Xbox One X's. I feel like I'm clipping through things, not entirely, but like you're climbing up a wall and your legs are sort of in the building a bit. Like it's like it doesn't feel. You know, but listen, it's a huge world. I can forgive that stuff, but
the world is incredible, and I think there's a lot of attention to detail in that game. Like if you ever like take note of if you're ever traveling through the deserts and stuff, like the sand, how the wind blows it and stuff, like it's amazing, like the world that they've built.
It is, yeah.
I know there's issues. There's still issues, and I still feel like...
There's little things, though. There's little things. Like, I feel like, you know, it's one of those things that really winds me up in games, and I can't get past them. But, like, I feel like the context-sensitive button presses aren't quite right. Like, someone will finish talking... Dark Souls does this, to be honest with you. But you run up to someone and you press the button to talk to them, but you have to sort of move away a bit and then come back and the prompt will appear. And I feel like it does that with some chests and stuff. Like, it doesn't quite feel loose enough. It wants me right on this spot before it will let me press the button. And I feel like in a game that's all about moving quickly, you know, keeping in the shadows, so you walk past, you loot them. It feels like that should just be a bit more loose, so I could, you know, as soon as I'm in the proximity of the button press. The proximity of the area for the button press should be a bit wider. I feel like it should be. I don't have to be right on it.
I know what you mean.
You know.
Yeah, it's not as smooth as you want it to be, obviously. And I feel, even though the combat is different, which, by the way, how do you find that?
I haven't actually had a lot of it. I'm basically doing bow and arrow. I've finally unlocked the skill to let me have two, so I've got one short and one long distance one. But I do like the combat. It is what everyone said it was. It's the kind of Dark Souls light heavy on the triggers and the shield, and I unlocked a parry. It's very much that. It's, you know, I'm enjoying it tremendously.
Yeah, like I think it's cool. I think it's a cool step forward, but I still don't think it comes across as fun. I don't find it fun to fight in the game because my thing is, you're a goddamn assassin. I'm supposed to be fucking hidden. Like, this is my whole
there is
situation.
Some weird stuff with that. Like, I'm in the grass, and the second I aim with my bow, they can see me. But I don't know if that's...
it's the worst. It's the worst.
I feel like I should be able to aim from the grass, like in Horizon. I guess it's that Horizon comparison. I feel like I should be able to aim from the grass without being spotted.
No matter where you'll be, and whatever distance you're at, if you fire an arrow, they will know where you are.
Oh yeah, and you see 10 of them running towards you, and it's like it's almost comical.
And it's so annoying, man, because the game actually, like, it is hard if you get into the wrong, if you get into the wrong battles and stuff. And there's a good few times I died in it, and even the fucking wildlife is deadly dangerous.
I haven't come across like crocodiles or whatever, but I am enjoying I'm enjoying the world in the. You know, I'm enjoying the side stuff a lot, like finding stuff in tombs almost, you know, and hunting treasures and the papyrus stuff. And no, that's the
fun side of it. That's the part I
don't know that I want to chronicle my journeys every week on the pod, but I'm going to keep trying to play it. You know,
one quick thing before we leave Assassin's Creed is that when I played it, I'll be honest, there's one thing where I said I want this to stop. I just want this to stop, and that is lifeless NPCs.
Yeah.
I honestly, when I start an Assassin's Creed game, every single one of them, except actually Syndicate, I was well into the story and the characters of that one. But like every other Creed game, I approach it anyway, going, I can't wait to get into this. I'm the world, the story, like, because it's trying to tell a pretty cool story.
Yep.
But man, when you go into side quests and you meet these NPCs, and do you know, it just focuses on their face, I get so instantly bored. I'm just like, oh, just come on. I need more emotion in the characters to go, oh, fuck yeah. Okay, cool. I'll get that done. And I don't know if like Odyssey is going to do that, because I feel
it looks like it because it's got dialogue options. That's what made me want to boot this up, because like that looks really cool. Yeah, no, I think it will.
Like Odyssey is going to be very interesting, because in some cases I feel it's almost too, even though we were getting one nearly every year, I feel it's almost too early for another Creed game, because I think they did a lot. They tried a lot of new stuff in Origins, and I feel it's still like a 7 or 8 out of 10 game for me, but I think it needs a bit more time again. I think maybe give yourself 3 years or 4 years now on this one, and come back with an app, because there's so many Creed games at this stage, and they really need to get that like 10 out of 10 Creed game. I really think it has to like.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but stick with Origins, man. It gets.
No, I am. I'm in again now. I think
it gets cool.
You know, it's weird because, well, I mean, there's nothing major coming, so I've been playing that, and I'm thinking of trying to do Dying Light, but I don't think I can juggle 2 sort of open world games at the moment. I say there's not much coming. Like the Mario Tennis is on the way. There is stuff coming. It's going to be a little bit quiet for a couple of months, which gives me a chance to get through Origins, hopefully, or get a good chunk of it played. That's a podcast for this week. Adam Carroll, thank you very much for being with me and chatting E3,
Absolutely.
Chatting games. It's a pleasure as always. Back to normal, I think. We'll have some news next time. We skipped listener correspondence. If anyone sent us anything, I'll make a note of it and put it in the next week's version of the podcast. And of course, you'll get this podcast early if you're a premium subscriber on patreon.com/GodIsAGeek. That's Patreon, patreon.com/GodIsAGeek, where you'll be able to basically become a premium subscriber for $1 a month, which means that you get at least 4 podcasts extended and earlier than everyone else. You'll get early access to videos, written articles, all sorts. You basically get everything before everyone. You have a private Discord channel to chat directly to us. Come do that. Come give us questions. We'll answer them. We promise. Next time.
So much greatness. Much greatness.
But that's it. That's the podcast this week. Remember to stay tuned to godisageek.com. This coming week, you'll be able to read Nick's review of Mario Tennis Aces. There's other stuff going on. You can listen. Go to godisageek.com. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Do whatever it is people do on Facebook. Instagram, which we need to get back on top of, we know. But, type God is a Geek. You'll find whatever you need to know. Thank you very much for listening, and we will speak to you next week or whenever you choose to listen. Bye-bye for now.